John Boy.
Lessons from the screen, what we mean is we go through different documentaries to tell you what they gon' do. Give you our lessons, give them our blessings. If they trash, we tell you there is no second guessing. Knowledge is power, but time is precious. And we're here to keep you running with lessons. So sit back as we groove, giving you the review, so you only spend time on the dots that you need to. So welcome to another episode of Lessons from the Screen, the show where we give you a review of whether or not any particular show, article, whatever you can get through any particular screen of any particular kind is worth your time. We waste our time, our brain power, and our energy so that you don't have to. You're welcome. Lessons from the Screen is sponsored by PAX Inc., a black activist, advocacy, and think tank with the purpose of increasing the quality of life for black people in America through education, culture shift, and economics. Check them out at www.pactsinc.org. That's paxinc.org. Leave a review, drop a comment, read a book, listen to a lecture, leave a donation, volunteer, take a survey, whatever you want to do. Explore all means that you can to help them out because they're doing whatever they can to help you out. And for those of you that shop on Amazon a lot, they have the Amazon Smile profile there where every purchase that you make will send a donation from Amazon to their organization. That's also at on the website. Scroll all the way down at the bottom and you'll see that link in the footer of the website. So without further ado, and for those of you that have not been paying attention to what I have been doing to you every day on this show, I have been freestyling a whole different intro to the same instrumental every single day. And I am lying my ass off right now, but that's cool. This week is Trending Tuesday, though, and we're going to be talking about the top 10 trending topics according to Google searches. Now, we don't do a Trending Tuesday every Tuesday, but this Tuesday we're doing a Trending Tuesday because people are searching for a variety of things. If there isn't a variety in there, if everybody's only searching for one particular thing and that one particular thing isn't something that is fairly significant, of course, from our standpoint, our perception with our biases included, then we don't do a Trending Tuesday that day. So like one of those weeks, all 10 searches were for World Cup for one of those days that we were looking at while World Cup was happening. We didn't do a Trending Tuesday that day. So for things like that, you won't see a Trending Tuesday. For what we have now, though, it is fairly limited today, but it has enough variety and diversity for us to have a show that's going to be longer than 10 minutes. So with that being said, on this Tuesday, July 24th, we are going to get into Trending Tuesday. It's time for Trending Tuesday. Trending Tuesday. Number 10. So at number 10, we have former MTV video jockey Jesse Camp. Now, he's been reported missing. His sister, Marisha, filed the report July 19th in Riverside, California. She had been in contact with someone who had told her that Camp was in Riverside a week ago and that he's been known to travel to the Inland Empire and Riverside from time to time. Riverside police officer Ryan Railsback told People. According to Railsback, Camp's sister called police because Camp might have been depressed recently, not suicidal. He added that police currently don't see anything suspicious about his disappearance. So basically, this guy is missing, and it's apparently a pretty big deal because it is in the top 10 of Google searches at the moment for the day with over 50,000 searches right now, and well over 10 articles written about it. So Jesse Camp, number 10, there you go. I don't really care. I didn't care about MTV when MTV was popular. I didn't really care about VJs even back then. So I still don't care. I hope the guy's not dead. I hope somebody finds him. I hope he turns up. But yeah.
Number 9.
So at number 9, we got Henry Cavill. Now, Henry Cavill played Superman, the most recent iteration of Superman, whether you like it or not. He played that guy. And he's also apparently in a new Tom Cruise Mission Impossible movie that is going to be coming out. And he is at the top of Google Trends with over 50,000 searches and well over uh 5 or 10 articles written about it, because apparently there was a scene in the movie where he was getting ready to do a fight scene, and he reloaded both of his arms by dropping them down and doing, like this mini stretch warm up thing with his arms. Anyways, it's turned into this huge GIF thing that's gone viral, and it's being shared all over the place. So people were wondering who it was. They found out who it was. They searched the name. That's how the name got put. That's how the name gets into the search engines the way it is. He's also been several places, advertising for the film. He's been doing a lot of interviews and things of that nature where he's been talking about how he did his own stunts, including the one stunt that he wasn't able to do. And working with Tom Cruise, and even wanting to work with Tom Cruise in a DC film, because as I said earlier, he plays Superman. So Henry Cavill, there you go. It's another entertainment type story. I really don't care. It's interesting to me what people search for. Not that searching for something as casual as this means anything, but I don't care. Let's not make a big deal out of something that's not a big deal.
Number eight.
At number 8, we have Gary Sanchez. Now, Gary Sanchez comes in over 50,000, over 50,000 searches, a whole lot of articles written about him. And apparently people are wondering what should be done about Gary Sanchez. Now, Gary Sanchez is a catcher for the New York Yankees. And in their last outing, Gary Sanchez essentially cost them 2 plays by refusing to hustle, and he cost them 2 runs by refusing to hustle, and they lost by 1 run. So there's a lot of talk now about, should he be starting? Should he be benched so that the backup can play this, that, and the third? And Aaron Boone, who is the manager of the Yankees, is facing a lot of pressure from the fan base to bench Gary Sanchez. Apparently, he's not hitting too well. He's not doing too well offensively this season so far. So Gary Sanchez, it's a sports play. It's Major League Baseball. People love Major League Baseball. They love baseball here in America. So it stands to reason that anything like that, especially with things that happened the way they happened in that last Yankees game, if they happen like that, you can bet your ass that there's going to be a lot of people searching for stuff like that. So I'm not going to get too deep into it because it's a sports topic, and I don't know, but maybe Joseph Ward is going to cover this on the Fix Sports Podcast, which will be dropping on Friday. So who knows? If he doesn't, though, I think I've given you enough so that you understand what's going on. If you're a baseball fan, you already knew what was going on. And if you aren't a baseball fan, then you probably don't care.
Number seven.
So at number 7, we have the Daily News. Now, the Daily News is a New York-based newspaper, local paper, and it is a competitor of the New York Times, although the New York Times is about 100% bigger, about 1,000% bigger, actually. So anyways, this paper recently had half of its staff slashed, including most of the photography department and most of the social media department. Now, the reason this is happening is because, like most news outlets nowadays, everybody's struggling to find a business model that's profitable in the digital age. And for smaller papers like this one, whose staff was only about 85 to 100, it's really hard to compete with the larger digital giants. Like we mentioned, the New York Times earlier, they have a staff of over 1,000. So that being said, they're owned by a corporation based out of Chicago, and that corporation decided that, we're going to cut half the staff, and that's how we're going to fix this problem. And we're also going to focus on breaking news, mainly in the areas of crime, civil justice, and public responsibility. Now, the news organization was acquired by the Chicago-based corporation for $1, but it also assumed all of the debt and the liability that the organization had as a newsroom, and it's been said that the previous owner was absorbing $30 million a year in losses. So they're really trying to figure something out. The mayor, who is somebody that doesn't agree with the partisan leaning of the newspaper, has come out and said that this isn't right. Most people are agreeing that this isn't right. This is not how you do things. If you're having trouble making profit, then reach out to local people to see if you can get some help. You don't just slash the newsroom and severely impact the ability of people in the community to gain information about what's going on around them. Now, this news organization has done some fairly tremendous things. They've reported on some fairly big national stories that have definitely made national shockwaves as well as global shockwaves. When you think about the Eric Gardner situation, if it wasn't for the Daily News, we wouldn't have had that footage of him when he was being strangled by the New York City police officers who, they strangled him to death. Um, and they also reported on the 9/11 situation, and they also fought with the first responders so that they could get benefits from some of the issues that they developed as a result of the 9/11 situation. And they've also been doing various other things. They've broken stories on discrimination, on public housing issues. They've done a lot. And recently, even, and I know a lot of people are going to ask questions about this, but one of their more recent issues from July 17th was actually, I'm looking at the front page right now, is actually a picture of them. They have a picture up of Donald Trump holding hands with Vladimir Putin, shooting Uncle Sam in the head. So they're obviously not a pro-Trump news outlet, and the title is the title of that piece is open treason, and it says Trump backs enemy Putin over U.S. intel, Russian spy busted, tied to GOP and NRA. So they're obviously not a conservative paper. They're a liberal paper. They're a progressive paper. And I'm sure a lot of people over the coming days and weeks are going to try to connect various dots about whether this was truly about a financial loss or whether this was about partisan politics getting involved in the media, in private life, and trying to assert its dominion over what is or isn't said about politicians in the public space. So this story is one that I think is interesting, is one that I think we should be paying attention to just to see how it unfolds, because this is a story that not only has this organization created and reported on issues that have driven national and international uh, problems, politics, however you want to label it. But this is also, if it is proven to be some sort of a partisan attack, then that means that America is straying even further off the course of what we like to think of ourselves as. And also, begin to look at what's going on in your local environment with your local papers, and how far away are they from being closed down or having their staff cut so drastically that they can no longer perform their job and fulfill their duties in an adequate and effective and efficient manner. So this is definitely something that we should be paying attention to. Definitely.
Number six.
So today is National Tequila Day, and National Tequila Day 2018 is number 6 on the list at over 100,000 searches and over 10 or 15 articles written about it. Now, National Tequila Day, nobody really knows when it started or why it started or anything like that. It appears that National Tequila Day began to emerge sometime around the late 1990s. The holiday is celebrated every year on today's date, and it is used to recognize tequila, basically. And tequila is an alcoholic beverage made from the blue agave plant and the main alcohol in margaritas. So these plants only grow in rich and sandy soil And they're only grown in 5 locations in Mexico at altitudes of 1,500 meters. Now, to make a tequila, they take the heart out of the plant, and only when the plant is 12 years old and weighs around 40 to 90 kilograms, and then they heat it to extract the sap, which is fermented and distilled into tequila. Now, fun fact here, according to some historical documents, the Aztecs fermented beverages from the agave plant prior to the arrival of the Spaniards in 1521. So, National Tequila Day. Hooray. For those of you that love to drink, get drunk. Now, another fun fact about National Tequila Day, about tequila, period, is that physicists in Mexico know how to make artificial diamonds out of 80 proof tequila. So I thought that was interesting as well. You take the tequila, you evaporate it into a vapor, and then you heat that vapor to a temperature of 1400 degrees Fahrenheit. And once the vapor hits silicon or stainless steel trays, it creates a diamond field containing microscopic diamonds free of impurities. So you can't use it for jewelry. They're microscopic. It's kind of small, but they can be used for practical, industrial, and electronic purposes. So, thought that was an interesting fun fact as well. National Tequila Day. I couldn't get it out, so I'm going to do it over. National Tequila Day.
Number five.
All right, at number 5, we have this chick, Mila Kunis. She went on a podcast and talked about how she broke up with Macaulay, or how her and Macaulay Culkin broke up 7 or 8 years ago. And
Number 4.
so at number 4, we got Jimmy Garoppolo, and he is the quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. He was traded by the Patriots to the 49ers for a second round draft pick. And he started over there last season, and he won 5 of his first 5 starts. So, anyways, look, you can obviously tell I don't really follow sports. That's why anytime a sports topic comes up, I always refer to my default. Maybe Joseph will to talk about this on the Fix Sports podcast. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. But apparently, this kid has generated a substantial amount of hype. There's been a new story come out about him where, he's asked about his confidence, and he says that, he said that he believes that he's better than Tom Brady. Of course, by most people's standards, Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. So for a young quarterback to be saying that is obviously, very interesting. But also, apparently, Bill Belichick, the coach of the Patriots, sent him a text message after each of his 5 starts congratulating him for his wins in San Francisco. And it's been reported that he was traded away for so little to the San Francisco 49ers because Belichick respected the Shanahans and believed that Jimmy would develop well in San Francisco. So that's that, and that's that. I will say this. I understand that from an athletic standpoint. I was an athlete, so I understand that mindset of, having that belief in yourself and understanding that, I'm better than whoever. That competitive edge is necessary, especially when you get to the pro level of sports. So I'm not tripping about, the kid saying that he feels like he's better than Tom Brady. In all honesty, he's supposed to feel that way. If you're involved in a competitive sport on a professional level and you don't feel like you're the best, what the hell are you doing there? So I know other people might have other opinions of that. I read some of the article. I didn't view it as being terribly disrespectful, but then again, like I said, I read some of it. I didn't read all of it. So, anyways, that's that.
Number 3.
And at number 3, we have Fortnite birthday challenges. So Fortnite is a MMO. I think it's an RPG, or maybe it's a first person shooter. I'm not sure, but anyways, it's a massive multiplayer online game, and basically it's 1 year old today. So it's an extremely popular game. It's 1 year old today. They released the patches, updating the game, making some changes to some critical structures, adding new weaponry, and adding birthday surprises, birthday challenges that can be completed for additional gear, special gear, elite and legendary level gear. So if you're a gamer and you're into games, you already knew that. If you're a gamer and you're into games and you don't play Fortnite, these types of anniversary deals for games are usually a good time to get involved because you can get some high level stuff usually just for showing up. So if you've been thinking about dipping into Fortnite but haven't really decided to wade into those waters just yet, now would probably be a good time to get started while you have access to the opportunity to get some high level stuff just for being around because it's the first birthday.
Number two.
So at number 2, we have Yanet Garcia. Now, Yanet Garcia is in this spot, and Yanet Garcia is a weather woman, a meteorologist who got tagged as the sexiest meteorologist on the planet by somebody, and she's famous for delivering her weather reports while wearing clothing that reveal her figure. So she's also a Instagram model, a IG model, where she constantly posts for the 6.5 million people that follow her. Various pictures of her butt, which is supposed to be nice, and her figure, which is supposed to be nice as well. I say supposed to be, not because I'm attacking her or anything like that, just because I haven't really looked at her. So I've seen some pictures of her face, but I didn't go and look at her figure and all of that other stuff as I was preparing for this part of the show. I just didn't. So, I'm not really interested in it either. So she's famous for showing her figure while delivering weather reports. Her fame grew during World Cup as she supported Mexico's team, while also still showing her figure. Now, she was recently dumped over a YouTube video by her, and she's 26, 27, by her 23-year-old boyfriend, ex-boyfriend now, who is a professional gamer. So he, on July 21st, he released a 10-minute video. His name is Faze Censor. He released a 10-minute video to his 2.5 million subscribers on YouTube, basically saying that he's breaking up with her because he wants to spend more time. He wants to spend more time focused on gaming so that he can win this championship. He talked about how he has signed a professional sports contract, and he has obligations and things that he has to take care of now, and he doesn't feel like he can give her the time, the attention, the energy that she needs. He talked about how much he loved her, how great she was, but how he just didn't have time in his life for a girlfriend right now. So that is big news because, one, people are like, I can't believe this dude broke up with this girl for video games. He also talked about the fact that she had moved to Mexico and they didn't see each other very often and blah, blah, blah. So, one, everybody's like, I can't believe he broke up with this girl over a video game. Two, everybody's like, oh my gosh, she's so fucking hot. You broke up with her over a video game. And three, they're like, oh, you're so stupid. You broke up with her over a video game. To which I'm like, well, if he signed a professional contract, a sports contract to play video games, he ain't just some dude playing video games in his mama house scratching on his balls. Like, that's not what's going on. This dude is getting paid bread to play video games. And if her pursuing her career as an actress and as an IG model and as a blah 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 is getting in the way of his paper and he doesn't blah blah blah, then I can't say that there's anything necessarily wrong with that. But anyways, I really don't understand why this would be. Well, I do understand why it's a number 2. I understand completely. I definitely do. I'm not even finna say that. Me personally though, I really didn't care about it. I mean, I cared about it. Well, it was more significant than the Mila Kunis whatever, but to me it's still kind of like whatever.
Number one.
And at number 1, with over 200,000 searches and numerous articles written about it, is Goldfish crackers. So there's been a Goldfish recall. 4 varieties of Goldfish crackers have been recalled for salmonella risk. Now, the recall was issued yesterday, which was July 23rd, due to potential salmonella contamination. The company said in a statement that it had been notified by one of its ingredient suppliers that the whey powder used in a seasoning on certain goldfish products may be contaminated with salmonella. Now, these goldfish varieties include flavor blasted extra cheddar, flavor blasted sour cream and onion, goldfish baked with whole grain extra cheddar, and goldfish mixed extra cheddar and plus pretzel. So, and whey protein, or whey, is a type of protein that's used also in various forms of health things and body fitness things. So you might want to take a look at that if you're into that sort of thing. Maybe there was also an issue going on there if you're consuming whey. But if you do eat goldfish crackers on a regular, you definitely need to check out the website to make sure that you're not eating potentially contaminated food. And if you do find yourself dealing with a sudden bout of salmonella poisoning, which, symptoms would be like diarrhea, fever, abdominal cramps, various things of that nature, then you should get in touch with the CDC, the hospital, somebody, to get yourself sorted out and squared away. So with that being said, this has been Trending Tuesday. Another episode of Lessons from the Screen. And I will see you next week. Trending Tuesday. Trending Tuesday. Lessons from the screen, what we mean is we go through different documentaries to tell you what they gon' do. Give you our lessons, give them our blessings. If they trash, we tell you there is no second guessing. Knowledge is power, but time is precious. And we're here to keep you running with lessons. So sit back as we groove, giving you the review, so you only spend time on the dots that you need to. Once again, I want to thank you for tuning in to Lessons from the Screen. Lessons from the Screen is brought to you by PackSync through the Freedom Train Network. You can find us on www.freedomtrainradio.com or on iTunes, Google Play Music, or Stitcher. Be sure to head to one of those places and leave us a review, and then be sure to head back to the website to let us know what you think about the show and communicate with us. Also, be sure to head to www.packsync.org and show some love and support for our sponsors. PackSync is doing big things in the community and trying to do more, always trying to do more. So be sure to head to the website. That's www.packsinc.org. Donate, volunteer, become a member, talk about it, whatever. They can use your support. And once again, they are doing great things in the community. And as always, Lessons from the Screen has a frame of reference and perspective that is aligned with that of the Black community. The things that we look at, whether it be on the Trending Tuesday or the regular Lessons from the Screen show, will always be looked at from the Black perspective. So keep that in mind, because we need more minds shaped into that perspective and trying to do things that we need done for ourselves. So with that in mind, again, thank you guys for listening in. Remember to tune in to the Freedom Train Radio. We have the app that's available that you can get from the website. It's in the Google Play Store. Sorry, it's not available on iTunes yet. We have the live internet radio, and we have more shows coming up. Thank you. And I will see you guys on Thursday for the next episode of Lessons from the Screen.